Hello, GUD Worldwide. We are back at it. We're doing the King Project. Thank you for letting me be able to kind of share a little bit of history, a little bit of slice of the pie of Dr. Martin Luther King himself and some of the great work that he did throughout our U.S. history and then throughout the world history. Let me start off with the great quote that he has that he made at 39 years old. It was the last speech that he had made, and this quote is from that last speech that he made before his assassination. And it goes like this: "The ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at the times of challenge and controversy." Now, we all know that Dr. King was a man who did not shy away from controversy at all. He embraced it, if you will, in a lot of ways. I believe that he was a fear master. As I said in the last video, he was able to kind of look fear in the face and build that Dikes of courage and address that and do some truly amazing things for a lot of people. You know, he was an advocate of equality for African Americans. He was a proponent of the Vietnam War at the time, and he demanded the expectations of the unity of all people of all creeds and color. So I just, really believe that he was definitely an exemplary example of being able to face his fears, face the challenges in this world, and be able to go about that and produce that change. Throughout my research, looking at some of this information, you would think that Dr. Martin Luther King was on a death wish, if you will, with some of the different things that he had to face and go through, and the vulnerability that I just felt with some of the different things that he was doing with some of the movements. And in that last speech, where I got this quote from, he desired his expression. He had the expression of desire to live. He wanted to live a long life. He had no intentions of wanting to die, but I believe, again, he had that impending doom of death upon him, and he knew that. And I believe that that was one of the main reasons why, he said some of the things he did in that last speech. I was thinking about him facing controversy and going about that, and you think about at any point in time of some of his successes, he could have stopped. He could have stopped, and he could have been in a situation where he was satisfied with making change, doing some of the different things that he did, and really ultimately be comfortable and have his family be safe. At the time that he made this speech, he was a husband. He had 4 children. He had everything to lose, and he had already accomplished so many things by this time he had made this speech. So he was even amping it up even more and getting into more bigger issues in my mind to really address some different things when it comes to the change that he was implementing. Let's talk about his accomplishments. Let's talk about at any point in time that he could have stopped and been satisfied and been caught up in the convenience and complacency of his previous success that he had with his movements. He started off with the first thing in his life at the time. I think is a great accomplishment. He earned his PhD at the Boston University, that is a truly amazing success. I think he received that at the age of 29 or 26, very young age, and very successful within that. He could have went on and just started being a minister and did that and been very successful with that as well. But he went on to the movement of Montgomery in 1955, as we all know, put him on the map. Soon after that, he was named the leader of the Southern Christian Conference, Leadership Conference. In that conference leadership, he was able to kind of really achieve a lot of different things within that title, and he could have stopped there. But he went on to really face some more things in life throughout his work because it gave him the notoriety he did. He even got a direct threat from J. Edgar Hoover and warnings from the then AG, Robert F. Kennedy, to disassociate himself with the movements that he was involved with and some of the different topics that he was tackling as a leader in the South. That was in 1957 that he had those issues with the Robert Kennedy and J. Edgar Hoover, but that didn't stop him. He went on to go to the Albany movement, where there was a mass arrest during this time, including himself. He was in a situation where he was a victim of some violence during that movement. He also went on to campaign in the Birmingham campaign involving water jets and police dogs, as we know some of those famous images that we have in our history books. But it just is a testament to showing you in just those few examples of how he was able to face that fear and embrace it and overcome it, because he felt like it was more important for him to continue his message of freedom, even if he had to die for it. And he proved that over and over again. By the time he got to 1963, the Birmingham campaign was in full effect. He was arrested 13 times by that time. He was already arrested 13 times, and he was a veteran of not being comfortable and convenient with the successes that he had achieved. Moving along, he went on to march on to Washington for the Jobs and Freedom March, where he gave the famous "I Have a Dream" speech that he's well known for. That was in 1963. He followed that up in the St. Augustine movement of 64, where protesters marched at night. Him himself were marching at night, and the Klan members of that city in St. Augustine provoked violence and really made things very, very difficult for that movement. They didn't stop him there. From 64 through 65, he marched in the Selma marches, and he was victims of police brutality within that march and within that movement, and he still kept going, and he still went on to tackle the opposition of the Vietnam War that he was so vehemently against. So, I just really want to give you guys a couple of different ways and examples of when he could have stopped at any time and sat on his successes, sat on the laurels of his achievements, and really had a long, fruitful life, and really was able to enjoy his wife and his 4 children, and really see them prosper and grow throughout the world that he was already had crucial change in. I just thought that was the ultimate measure of what a man does, where he stands in the moments of comfort and convenience, and he stands out for the challenge and the controversy that he wanted to tackle. Need I say more? Dr. King, he is setting the standard. He has always set the standard. I think he'll continue to set the standard of being able to step up and do what's right and do what's right for the people. Chuck Grigsby, G Unity Worldwide. We are doing the King Project. I hope you guys are enjoying this stuff here. I got more to come, and I'm very excited to be able to share this information with you. Take care, guys.